guys, it's Reagan and welcome to the start of another reading vlog, and this video is sponsored in part by Cricut, and I'll be doing a craft later on in this video, but I'm so excited for this vlog for a variety of reasons. One, I'm thrilled to be picking up the book that is my primary read for this video, and two, I just have some fun activities I'm going to be doing over the next couple of days. Well, fun to me and also just productive activities I'm looking forward to doing. But without further ado, let's go ahead and chat about the book I hope to read over the course of the next few days. So the book I hope to read basically from beginning to end is For the Wolf by Hannah Whitten. This is a fairy tale, romance-centered fantasy story, and I feel like it's been a minute since I've read kind of a romance-focused fantasy book or a more romance heavy book. I feel like I have been reading a lot of like dense fantasy, really gruesome fantasy, so I feel like this might be a bit more fun, I'm hoping. But For the Wolf is essentially a Beauty and the Beast and Red Riding Hood retelling, and it essentially follows a girl who's been raised her whole life to be sacrificed to the Dark Wood. It is her destiny, and when the day finally arrives, she realizes though that the evil monsters that she was supposed to run into, or the evil wolf, is actually a man, and the dark magic she has been kind of hiding from herself and everyone around her is something she needs to like harness to be able to save the world. I hope this is like dramatic and lyrical and just full of good angsty romance. At least that is what I'm hoping for. So this is what I hope to read for the majority of this vlog. Other than that, my plans for today are really as follows now. I'm gonna go to the bookstore. My birthday is coming up this week, and even though I know I'm moving, one of my favorite activities is actually to look around the Barnes & Noble fantasy section. I've been going to a lot of indie bookstores recently, which I also love, but I feel like bigger bookstores tend to have better fantasy selections just because there's more books there. I'm gonna go there later with Clay and see what they have. There's so many books. I feel like too, I've been watching a lot of like mid-year freak book tags, mid-year freak out book tag, so I feel like I have so many new books on my list that I want to buy. And then other than that, I really just want to peer pressure Clay into hopefully making some scones, because who doesn't love a breakfast baked good no matter the time of day. But anyway, welcome to the vlog. I'm gonna be reading a lot, and I'm excited to be here. Anyway, let's start it. Excuse Clay playing Call of Duty in the background, but I am about to start reading. And we're off to the bookstore to buy more books that I clearly don't need. But you know what? It's my birthday. Just justifying. We've arrived. Let's go buy some things I don't need. 2 whole rows of fantasy novels for me to explore. It's a good day. Notice they separated science fiction from fantasy versus hyphenating them, which I normally feel like has been the case in the past, so that's pretty nice. Tempting now that I just read Shadow of the Gods. We'll see, maybe. I didn't realize there was a new possibly, or I don't even know if it's new, but a Claire North book I haven't read.
What's that?
Well, I was talking. It's the vlog, but I was talking about this book. I'm making Clay carry my new books, but I'm excited about them. Quick book haul of the 2 books I picked up from the store. The first is The Helm of Midnight, which is, I think, like a cross-genre fantasy thriller story about a serial killer who has come back from the dead and the people like trying to catch them. I hear it's gruesome and just incredibly intense, and one that'll just definitely get your pulse racing. And then the other book I picked up, I couldn't help myself. I did end up grabbing Malice by John Gwynne. I really liked the other John Gwynne book I read recently, so I thought I would give his Malice series a try, which I know is very, very beloved, and I feel like is going to be full of incredibly intense combat as well. But these are the 2 books I grabbed from the bookstore. Just have to pack them up and move them now. My campaign has worked. Clay is about to start some scones. So we don't have any clotted cream, but we do have jam. Nevertheless, these shall be delicious. In the meantime, I'm going to enjoy some watermelon. Gotta love summer. Wanted to quickly let you know, I've read 40 pages. Clay's jamming out in the background making his scones. But I wanted to show you my outfit before I changed, because I am about to put pajamas on. just hang out with Clay for the rest of the evening. I obviously plan to read more of this tonight, so I'm definitely hoping to pass the 100-page mark, which I feel like I'm gonna track to do so. This book opens really, really quickly. I'll talk more about it later, but it really just kind of like throws you in, which is exciting. And basically just like the setup of the synopsis, like done. Now we're in the forest, ready to meet a hot wolf guy. Like, let's keep it rolling. We've got some scones. We got a scones pie. Can't get it, it's like a pizza pie.
Oh, I get it.
Anyway, scones. And the scones are done. We don't have any clotted cream, but I did make some like honey butter. And then obviously we have some jam. So Clay's getting his gram. Gonna enjoy these and watch some TV. Circling back to run on to finish it. And we got empanadas for dinner, which should be tasty. Hi, it's me. If you hear any fireworks in the background, I apologize in advance. It's summer in New York City and there's just fireworks all the time. But I am sitting down now and I'm actually going to do more reading, but I first wanted to give you some initial thoughts and feelings of the 40 pages I've been able to read so far. I would say this book definitely hits the ground running, which I personally appreciate. It basically sets up kind of the fantasy world. Essentially, there is this kingdom that for the past like 400 or so years, they've had to kind of give up the second daughter of the ruling family to the forest, like sacrificing them to the wilder wood. Not only is it unavoidable, it's also transformed into a moment of like great and grand ceremony. And we're basically entering the story on the eve of our main character, Red, kind of entering into the wildwood as the sacrifice. We're quickly, you know, introduced to her sister, her mother, kind of the complicated relationships that live there, not to mention her kind of growing up in this kingdom, always knowing that she only had 20 years to herself before she kind of had to give it up and go into the wood. We also got context as to why this is happening. Essentially, there are monsters in the wood and there was some sort of agreement made centuries ago that as long as they sacrifice the second daughter of the ruling family, they will be fine. But there's also this layer of mystery because after this deal was struck, 5 kings went missing and they've never been seen since. So there's this sort of mission that comes along with being a sacrifice to essentially find out what happened or even like free the kings from the wood itself. So the first 40 pages are really kind of just setting up the ceremony and following Red as she enters the wood and now she's there. So far I really enjoy the writing. I think the setting is rather immersive. It is kind of exactly, at least at this point, what I was hoping it would be. And I really love that I feel like it's leading with kind of a fairy tale-esque quality, just entertaining, and I'm hoping it continues to be sort of dark and atmospheric. I do plan to read more tonight. I hope it has lots of angst. I feel like we definitely can get there. But she's already in the woods. There's already a mysterious castle. Like, time to find out more. Good morning, everyone. This is actually like my second cup of coffee, but that's all right. But cheers, I'm up and dressed. Just been getting some things done this morning. This dress is from Madewell and it's truly incredible. It's like this really lightweight fabric, button down, so comfy. It's a real winner. Pretty jazzed about it, so I'll have a link down below, but just wanted to say hi. I did read over 100 pages last night. I'm doing more laundry. Things are getting accomplished around here. I'm actually about to make some salad dressing, so huzzah. Made a little summer salad. I'm especially proud of this one because I found a recipe for the sweet green goddess ranch dressing and it turned out rather splendid, so gonna enjoy this. Hi friends, I am here at my kitchen counter. I have my cup of coffee and we are about to do some crafting. I mentioned at the beginning of this video I am actually partnering with Cricut again, who I love so much. I have been having honestly just an absolute blast exploring my Cricut machine. I have made so many fun things. I've made stickers, I've decorated pots, I've labeled jars for my new basil plant, which by the way is thriving. I've just been able to make so many things and I feel like I have become so much more comfortable with crafting, and it's all thanks to my Cricut and my Cricut Joy. They just have so many different products and designs that you're able to access to make whatever it is that you are looking to make. That being said, what my #1 priority is for the next couple of months at least is getting organized. Luckily, my Cricut is fantastic in terms of making labels, so I'm really trying to go through different areas of my apartment, label to make the moving process and ultimately the unpacking process much better. The specific project I'm tackling today is actually underneath my bathroom sink. I'll have a bit of a cutaway so you can see the absolute disaster that is underneath my bathroom sink. There's no organization, everything is just thrown in there, and I want to fix that. I want to have one, a more thoughtful approach of having my items more easily reachable, but two, if I go ahead and organize everything now, packing everything up and unpacking will just be a breeze, at least for my bathroom. And I hopefully am going to be doing this in other areas of my apartment as well. To go over the project itself, I actually don't need very many materials for this. I have my smart label and I'm using the kind of brown vinyl paper because I just like the look of it, but they have so many different colors and like finishes depending on what kind of project you're wanting to make. I have my marker and then I have my cutting tool as well, and I'm gonna make the perfect little label stickers for my new organizational bins that are gonna go underneath my bathroom sink. Riveting stuff over here, organization is happening. I'm trying to turn over a new leaf, you know what I mean? But to go over the new project, I'll have a cutaway here. I've already went into the Cricut design tool on my phone and made the labels I want to have for my little bins. Per usual, the design space is just so easy to navigate and find whatever it is you're looking for. I made these really quickly and I'm really pleased with how they came out. And now that it's done, all that I have to do is send it to my machine, load up my paper, bada bing, bada boom, let's make some labels. So as I mentioned, this particular project is super simple. It's really just making labels on my writable vinyl. But once I load up my paper, I basically just select my design and sync it up to my Joy. And I just load the proper tools. And from there you press go and it begins. I mean, truly, I could never. My handwriting truly could never. And just like that, my 4 labels are complete. And now I'm just going to apply them to my bins and work on organizing underneath my sink. I'm going to have an after now overlaid over this, and hopefully you guys can bask in my newly organized glory. I'm really thrilled. This is a project I have definitely been putting off, but honestly it was so simple, so I'm glad I finally got around to it. Again, big shout out to Cricut for working with me for this video. If you guys are interested in shopping my specific machine, which I have the Cricut Joy, I'll have it linked down below, but I'll also have a link to their overall site because they have so many different types of machines as well depending on your crafting needs. I love my Cricut. I feel like the world is my oyster. I can make and label anything I could possibly want with this thing. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my little crafting session, but let's jump back into the reading vlog. Hello friends, I have finally finished up work. I obviously had a nice lunch and organization break, but I was heads down for the rest of the day. So I'm gonna reward myself and actually make myself a snack to enjoy whilst reading. I was actually able to read 100 pages of For the Wolf, and so far, as I kind of mentioned already, I'm really liking it, and I really like the back and forth already our main character has with the main male lead, which is obviously important given it's a romance, but I'm intrigued by this Wilderwood setting. It's dark and eerie, and I feel like there's a lot of ambiance in the tale so far, and there's also a lot of mystery because you're basically confronted right away that everything our main character has been told is incorrect, not necessarily on purpose, at least at this point we don't think it's on purpose, but there's just a lot of misinformation going around about this curse, about expectations, so where these kings are, we gotta find out. But I'm gonna make myself a snack. I'm actually gonna make an English muffin. Ever since I saw this TikTok of this man making homemade English muffins, it's really changed my overall opinion about how amazing they are, and now I can't stop eating them. You know, not that I'm making homemade ones, but I'm gonna make one now. Honestly, butter on carbs is an unstoppable combination, and I'm also having to stop myself from making a butter joke every single time I eat butter now. It's getting a little out of control. Hi friends, so I just wanted to do a bit of a reading check-in before I start cooking dinner. So I've passed just a little bit over the 100-page mark. I do plan to read more tonight, but I am really liking this story. Specifically, I wanted to shout just 2 elements that I'm personally really enjoying. For one, we're actually getting multiple perspectives in this tale. So far, we've encountered 2. Obviously, our main character is Red, and she was raised as the second daughter, but she's also incredibly close with her older sister, Nev, who is the first daughter who is basically trained to rule. And we actually read from her perspective as well, and these two sisters are super close, and Nev, her entire life, has been trying to figure out a way to prevent her sister from having to be sacrificed to the woods. And obviously, while Red is kind of discovering some of the secrets of what is actually happening in the woods, Nev knows even less than Red and is kind of continuing her quest to try to save her sister. It's admirable, and it's just nice to have this like strong sisterly bond kind of at the heart of the story. I also feel like we're gonna have some secondary romance happening in this book, so I thought it was just gonna be one romance. I think we're gonna get two. I do also want to say that while this is going to be probably romance heavy, I am really enjoying the atmosphere. I think the writing is really engaging, and the overall like fairy tale vibe is definitely strong. I wouldn't say the politics are like incredibly intense, but everything is explained, and there is a political component to this book and a religious component to this book as well, which I do think adds some really interesting world building and adds a nice stage for everything to kind of take place. Some of my disappointment with some other romance heavy fantasy books in the past is like, it's really like there really isn't a fantasy plot, but I don't feel that is the case with this at all. I feel like, at least to the point of which I've read, there are a couple different threads happening, and I'm interested in all of them. The other part I like is the wolf character, Aemon, I think you say his name. And the reason why I like him is because this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, so you expect this level of like grumpiness and darkness from this type of character, and yes, he is grumpy, but I would more describe him as like tired. Like he's really just overworked and tired. Like he's spent a lot of his time, a lot of his life, like basically trying to prevent whatever is going on in those forests from spreading, and he's just worn out. So he's like grumpy and short-tempered more because he doesn't have the time. He doesn't feel like if it's worth his time, it's worth pursuing, because he doesn't have a lot of rest time. So I just feel like he, it's just like a different kind of approach I feel like we get with the Beauty and the Beast vibe. Like he still kind of has like a menacing look that you would expect with the character, you know, a very attractive, menacing look, but guy just wants a nap, you know, and I'm here for that vibe. But yeah, so far I'm liking the story quite a bit. I'm gonna read more. I'm really intrigued by this sort of like fairy tale element. There is actually like a literal tale that is present within the story that is centered around a religion, and also the reason why daughters are sacrificed in this manner. So there's sort of this bending of history through storytelling that's very much central to the story. So I'm really just curious to learn more and to kind of unpack what actually happened and what's actually going on. It's all very intriguing, so I'm definitely liking it so far. I just wanted to give you kind of more of a reading update, but I've read a bit. I'm gonna read more tonight, but now I'm gonna go make some pasta. That's right, I'm gonna make a quick pasta. It's not gonna take me long at all. Just a little cherry tomato, burst tomato sauce with zoodles and whole wheat pasta and garlic and cheese, and I think that's it. It's just gonna be quick. I want pasta, but I don't want to put that much energy in it, you know what I mean? Garlic is chopped. I also got some fresh basil, which I'm gonna throw in. I actually have this open thing of spaghetti, so I'm gonna use that. Zoodles, and I have my tomatoes cooking, and I'm just gonna cook these until they burst and make a sauce and add all the other stuff, you know? Easy peasy. Cooking down the tomatoes and the garlic. Pasta's cooking away, and then you just combine. All together. I also threw in some fresh basil, red pepper flakes, salt and pepper. Many episodes of Top Chef later, and dinner, which was delicious. I am now back to reading. Gonna try to read as much of this before I fall asleep. Like Matilda over there, who is down for the count. Good morning, everyone. Wearing a little breezy gingham number this morning, as it is quite the scorcher outside. Matilda is here. She's vibing. She's a summertime gal. I did read a good amount last night, so happy Tuesday. It's hard for me to keep track of the days. All right, it's lunchtime. I thought I'd give you a bit more of an overview of the salad I'm making. I have some red onion and some carrots and some lettuce, chopping up some radishes. Also, of course, gonna put some corn because it's summertime. And then naturally, I'll top it with my Green Goddess Ranch and then bacon. And then I have some eggs in there. So that's the salad. Very tasty, very easy. And delicious. I mean, put bacon on anything, it's gonna taste good. And just like that, 2 tasty salads. Hello friends. So I finished up work. It's absolutely pouring down rain outside. It's gonna be storming all night, which I'm actually really looking forward to. But I wanted to do a reading update because I was able to read last night and some after work. And I'm on the 220 page mark, about 50% of the way done with this book. And I do plan to read more tonight. But I just wanted to give an update because I'm really liking it. It's definitely delivering pretty much what I was hoping it would deliver. The overall setting is really shining through this sort of dark and mysterious forest that very much feels alive and kind of unlocking and learning the secrets. It's really cool. And the forest as well is kind of this sentry almost, like this sort of barrier between life and like this sort of evil force that it's kind of preventing from being unleashed into the world. But the forest itself, while doing that duty, is not necessarily perfectly good in that it's kind of insatiable and its needs to be able to keep doing its job, which is kind of where our guardians, the wolf and our main character Red, come in. And seeing them interact and kind of how the forest is alive with its own agenda is really interesting, and seeing how they kind of move around it I like. The romance is definitely building. I think it's paced well, at least so far. I'm halfway through. I feel like nothing has been rushed, and the back and forth, the will they won't they, is definitely very entertaining. There's lots of great trope use in this too, sort of a marriage of convenience as well as just like classic there's only one bed in a room kind of moments, which I like. A different highlight and surprise for me is the politics. It's continuing to expand, I think, in an interesting way. Again, I wouldn't say it's like a hyper political novel, but some of just the points that are being brought up and some of the things that are happening outside of the woods are continuing to be highlighted and are definitely impacting the characters in the woods, at least not like directly yet, but I have a feeling it will. Particularly, there's one element of this book that I think is just kind of cool, in that the kingdom in which Red is from and where her sister currently presides is landlocked and also like really cold and desolate, and their main like export is actually religion, and the fact that they provide this sacrifice to the woods to prevent these monsters from coming out means they get like tithes and taxes from other countries or other lands surrounding them. So obviously it's kind of interesting in that their main religious goal is to defeat the wood or to unlock the wood or to release these kings that are present in the wood. But in some ways, at least is what I'm thinking, it like benefits people to keep the status quo, because that is how they maintain and collect their primary revenue as a country to be able to afford all the other imports they need, because they can't really like farm and stuff. And I don't know, I just think having like religion as your main export is just an interesting concept that's being used within this world. And like there's a status quo that is economically very important because of that, and I feel like it's being explored a bit. At least I hope it continues to be explored. I feel like it's been mentioned, but I want it to continue to be highlighted throughout the rest of the series. But again, I've read half of it. I'm liking it. Gonna read more tonight. I am going to make more dinner right now, but just wanted to give you guys an update that I'm liking this book. Truly a round 2 scenario, everyone. Quick, easy, delicious. Have my BTS playlist ready to go. We're cooking dinner. And she's done, folks. So good. Pasta, and we are starting Loki tonight. A little behind the curve, but it's only 4 episodes, so we feel like we can catch up. Clay scooped me some ice cream. Is that popcorn I hear?
Oh yeah.
And apparently we're eating popcorn. About to go read, but oh my gosh, we watched the first 2 episodes of Loki, and that show, it's so good so far. I don't know why I took a break on Disney Plus there for a second after WandaVision, but Loki is everything I could have wanted it to be so far. I love the humor, I love Loki, I love just the vibe of it, like this sort of retro futuristic vibe, time travel. It's so it's hooked me right away. Aesthetically, story-wise, acting, it's got it all. I'm having a grand old time. But now, as I said, it's time to read. I've read 220 pages and I am determined to get over the 300 page mark tonight so I can finish my book tomorrow. So that's the plan, Stan. Let's get to it. Good morning, everyone. It's coffee time. It's another bright and hot day in New York City. Also dressed and ready to face the day. I've just been up doing some work, but Clay and I are actually about to head out for lunch. We're meeting up with Elena again and getting some tasty hand rolls in the city. So that's what we're doing. So let's depart. I'm meeting with Elena for lunch. We're getting hand rolls. Yum. Post sushi ice cream moment. It's many hours later. We're home. I finished up work. I'm clearly doing a hair mess. At least hopefully it's clear. It is so hot outside in New York City today, and being out and about, which was amazing, so much fun, ate such good food. I just feel like I need to do.
You look like a grandma.
I know. I need to do all the masks. My hair, I'm gonna do a face mask. And while this sits, while this marinates, I'm going to do some reading. I've passed the 300 page mark of my book, and I definitely foresee myself being able to finish it tonight, especially because, you know, I don't have any grand plans for this evening besides the hair and face mask. So just wanted to say hello. Sushi was incredible. Those hand rolls, impeccable. And Clay and I are gonna watch more Loki tonight, I think, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. But anyway.
Just a Loki night.
Anyway, goodbye. Hello, I feel amazing and I've done more reading. I have about 70 pages of this book left. I read about 370 and I wanted to give more thoughts, more feelings. One, the romance is definitely amping up. And as I mentioned previously, I'm still really liking the pacing and the tension the author's been able to create between these two characters. I feel like nothing is rushed. She kind of gives you enough to kind of make you want more, you know? So I think the pacing of it is really well done in that regard. Combining with that, the political aspect and the overall like main conflict of the story is also ramping up, which is really interesting and is actually kind of tying the two sisters together in ways I wasn't really anticipating coming into this. So as much as this is about Red and the wolf and their joint journey to try to understand the magic of the Wilderwood, train Red and her magic and her kind of accepting her place in the world. It's also a story of like two sisters who care very deeply for each other, which I thought was great. As I mentioned, the romance is really entertaining, but I do want to call out that it's very much centered around like secret keeping and two people like learning to rely on another person and like being so used to kind of going it alone and not really wanting to burden someone with their emotions or their life. So like watching them kind of learn to rely on someone else. So it is really sweet in that regard, but frustrating because there is a lot of secret keeping. So if that's something that bothers you within a romance, just keep that in mind. It doesn't really bother me and I like it, and I think the story progression has been great, but I do want to call that out. Yeah, so far it's great. It's definitely delivering again what I was hoping. It definitely is a lot more political than I was expecting and a little less romance for than I was expecting. Like I would say the romance is still very central to the story, and the relationship that kind of built between the wolf and Red is definitely very present. But it's not like the author shied away from other elements of this fantasy tale to accomplish that. And I would say like it's a pretty solidly weighted romance fantasy book in that it's kind of, it's not like too, like if you have like a stats card, it's not like spiked in the romance. It's like very balanced all the way around, if that makes sense. If this was a Naruto stat card, that would be how I would describe it. But I'm definitely on track to finish this tonight, which is exciting, which was what I was hoping for this vlog. Clay and I are about to order dinner. which is basically going to be chicken fingers, which I'm really excited about. I have leftover Green Goddess ranch dressing, which I've been eating in the salads all week, and I just want to have a feast of chicken fingers and ranch. Sometimes it just be like that, you know? So that's the plan. We're gonna watch more Loki, which again we're loving so much, and that's pretty much it. I think it's gonna storm more tonight, which I'm kind of hoping for. And yeah, that's everything. It's chicken finger o'clock, everyone. Taking a quick pause because we are doing some skincare. That's Clay's mask. I have a clear mask on that's hydrating. And we're gonna get back to Loki. We're almost completely caught up. There's only 5 episodes out, so it's pretty easy, but it's such a good show. Absolutely loving it. I love Owen Wilson. I'm so happy he's joined the Marvel Universe. We are officially caught up on Loki. So now it's time to finish For the Wolf, which I'm gonna do right now. Hi guys, it's Reagan and welcome to the end of the vlog. The next day, I wanted to pop in and wrap up everything I was able to read for this vlog because fantastic news, I finished For the Wolf by Hannah Witten. Obviously, I've talked about this book at length throughout this video, and I would say all in all, I liked it. It definitely delivered what I wanted, and it definitely expanded in some areas I wasn't anticipating. Ultimately, I did find the plot to be a bit predictable towards the end, but I was really taken with the sort of fairy tale magical woods setting. I thought the magic was really interesting. The romance had good pacing, and I'm curious, there is going to be a second book that's coming out following the other sister, so I'm curious to see where the plot is going to continue to go to. I do think some things were a little convenient that happened, especially plot-wise, and maybe some stuff kind of happened off stage, as I would describe, that kind of made the end feel a little quick. But the romance component, the writing, and the fairy tale elements I did think were really strong, and I would check out more books by this author, but I think for this one I would give it like a 3 stars. It was a solid read, just not necessarily like a new all-time fave, but a lot of fun. If you like grumpy boys in the woods and romance and magic, I would definitely say this one is worth checking out for that. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, big shout out to this video sponsor, which is Cricut, and I will see you guys soon with another video soon. Goodbye.